In the quiet village of Oke-Ado, nestled between green hills and a flowing river, lived a boy named Segun. Segun was known all over the village as a clever and playful boy, but there was one thing that made him special. He had a dream. Segun wanted to become a great hunter, just like his father Baba Segun, who was respected by everyone for his bravery and skills. Segun would spend days following his father into the forest, learning how to track animals and move silently through the trees. But despite his father's teaching, there was one thing that Segun could not do. He could never catch the biggest and most elusive animals of the forest, the Great White Antelope. This antelope was a legend in Oke-Ado. Many hunters had tried to catch it, but none succeeded. Some said the antelope had magical powers, while others believed it was too smart for any hunter to catch. One day, as the sun set over the village, Segun made up his mind. He was tired of waiting, tired of only dreaming. He decided that he would go into the forest alone to catch the great white antelope and make his father proud. Segun, you are not yet ready, Baba Segun warned when he saw the determination in his son's eyes. The forest is dangerous at night, and the antelope is no ordinary animal. But Segun was stubborn. He believed he could do it. So, when everyone in the village was asleep, he sneaked out of his house and made his way into the thick forest. The air was cool, and the moonlight peeked through the tall trees, casting strange shadows on the ground. Segun followed the trail he had seen his father take many times before. His heart was pounding in his chest, but he didn't stop. After hours of walking, he finally saw it, the great white antelope, standing by a small stream, drinking water. It was more beautiful and majestic than Segun had imagined. Its white coat gleamed under the moonlight, and its large, graceful horns curved like a crown. Quietly, Segun reached for his bow and arrow, but just as he was about to pull the string, the antelope lifted its head and looked straight at Segun. For a moment, time stood still. Segun's hand froze. He had heard the stories about the antelope's magical eyes, but now he knew they were true. The animal's eyes glowed like fire, and suddenly Segun felt a strange warmth in his chest. He couldn't move. "Why do you want to capture me, young one?" a voice echoed in Segun's mind. He looked around, startled. Who was speaking? But there was no one else in the forest. It was just him and the antelope. "I want to make my father proud," Segun whispered, his voice shaky. The antelope's eyes softened, and it took a step closer to him. "There are many ways to make your father proud, Segun, but you must first learn the true meaning of being a hunter. It is not about taking what you want, but about understanding the balance of nature." Segun didn't understand. He had always thought hunting was about being strong and clever enough to catch the animals. But now, standing in front of this magical creature, he realized there was more to it. The antelope continued, "I have seen many hunters come and go, but they never understood the forest. If you want to become a great hunter, you must respect the forest. the animals, and the life around you. Only then will you find what you are truly seeking. Segun felt shamed. He had been so focused on proving himself that he had forgotten everything his father had taught him about respect for nature. Slowly, he lowered his bow and arrow, his heart heavy with guilt. "Go back home, Segun," the antelope said gently. "Learn from your father, and when you are ready, we will meet again." With that, the great white antelope turned and disappeared into the shadows of the forest. Segun stood there for a long time, thinking about the lesson he had just learned. He realized now that he had been foolish, thinking he could become a great hunter just by capturing the biggest animal. It wasn't about the hunt, it was about understanding and respecting the world around him. As the first light of the dawn broke through the trees, Segun made his way back to Oke-Ado. He was tired, but his heart was light. He didn't need to catch the antelope to make his father proud. He needed to grow, to learn, and to respect the wisdom of those who came before him. When Segun arrived home, Baba Segun was waiting for him at the entrance of their hut. "I see you have returned, my son," he said, a knowing smile on his face. "Yes, Baba," Segun replied, his head bowed. "I was wrong. I thought I could become a great hunter by capturing the antelope. But now I understand that being a hunter is about much more than that." Baba Segun nodded and placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "You have learned an important lesson, Segun. The forest is not just a place to hunt. It is a place of life, and a great hunter must honor that life." Segun smiled, feeling a warmth inside him that had nothing to do with pride. He had a long way to go, but he was ready to learn and ready to listen. And one day, when the time was right, he knew he would meet the great white antelope again. But for now, he was content to walk beside his father, not as a boy trying to prove himself, but as a hunter in the making, learning the ways of the world one step at a time.